Hi, I'm Lena,
And I'm Sophia.
and we're here to talk more about fast fashion and the trend cycle.
Yay!
Today, we wanted to provide you all with more examples and visuals of what we discussed in our last podcast episode. So first, I wanted to provide a graphic so that everyone can see a visual of what the fashion trends actually look like. As Sophia explained on the podcast, there are 4 stages. It starts with the introduction, which is when the style and colors are first seen on the runway. The rise begins when magazines report on the style, and other designers begin to incorporate the same styles and colors. The peak begins when more affordable brands begin to use the styles and colors, and it becomes accessible to the masses. The decline begins when new trends start to take over, and the obsolete stage occurs when the style is officially outdated and new styles and colors have officially taken over.
Exactly! You know, and all those styles and colors come and go. I believe that there are certain colors and styles that dominated a few of the decades I'm about to mention. So when you think about the 70s, it involved a lot of warm tones, loose sleeves, and bell bottoms. But then in comparison to the 80s, you know, there was a lot of neon and bright colors, spandex and shoulder pads. But then when you look at the 90s, that's a lot of more muted and dark colors.
You know, that really makes me think about the 2000s, or Y2K, if you're cool. You know, we had Paris Hilton and Britney. So it was a lot of mini skirts, graphic tees, and bling. The 2010s was a darker time. We discovered skinny jeans, statement necklaces, and chevron. But what about the 2020s?
And that's why social media and its relation to fashion is just so interesting. In the 2010s, you see, trends seem to move much quicker than they had before. It began with the skinny jeans and chevron. And then in about 2014, Kylie Jenner took over the internet, and soon everyone was copying her style and makeup. This was also referred to as the King Kylie era. And then in 2018, the app VSCO, which is a photography app, blew up. And soon it was trendy to dress like a VSCO girl, which was like carrying around a hydro flask and wearing a scrunchie and then preppy t-shirts and friendship bracelets and things like that. Exactly, and it gets even crazier. And in 2020, TikTok took over. In the midst of COVID and everyone was stuck at home with nowhere to go, it was everyone's favorite pastime.
I remember those days. But how does that influence fashion now?
And TikTok began what we call micro trends. According to the internet, a micro trend is a specific item that takes over the internet, and this could include a certain pair of shoes, a certain bag, or even a specific haircut. And it says it's a micro trend because it isn't a full style or color, but just one specific item. But these singular items could not last long in the trend cycle, and therefore they are micro once again. Well, since the cycle for these items was so short-lived, they reached their peak much quicker and people rushed to buy more affordable alternatives and nicknamed them dupes. However, since each phase of the cycle was so short-lived, they reached their obsolescence phase much quicker.
This seems like it would lead to mass amounts of consumerism and waste. In the past, people would wear the same clothing items for a long time since they were trending for a full decade. But now, with all of these micro trends, people have to move on so quickly.
Exactly. And this is what leads to a lot of lower quality items being donated or thrown away. And people who go to thrift stores are much less likely to buy, you know, a cheap, out of style $8 item in comparison to thrifting for like a much nicer item that can be worn for a long time.
So there's been a lot of talk about TikTok being banned. What do you think will happen in fashion if that occurs?
Come in. Well, lately, a trend on TikTok has been the idea of a capsule wardrobe. A lot of the influencers on TikTok are pushing people to buy more staple wardrobe items, and it's almost like an investment. You know, they invest more money into these clothes that will last longer and are just like timeless pieces.
I think that's great. It's definitely more sustainable for both the consumer and for the environment. I'm interested to see if that idea will take hold, And what will happen if TikTok really is banned?
You know, me too. It's a really interesting phenomenon, and I think regardless, consumers should really just try to find, the most sustainable item that they can buy, whether it be a trend or not.
Thank you so much, Sophia, for joining me again. It was so much fun on the podcast, and now it's been so much fun in our video.
Well, thank you, Lena. I had a great time.